Imagine being told World War II started because of Hitler's invasion of Poland. Simple, neat. But it's not the full story. Beneath the surface, secret deals, hidden money, and powerful corporations quietly built the machine that would ignite the deadliest war in history. Tonight, we uncover the truth they didn't want you to know. The dark secret that really started World War II. Most people believe World War II erupted because Hitler invaded Poland in 1939. It's simple, it's neat. But history is rarely neat. Long before the first shot was fired, the wheels of war were already turning. The Treaty of Versailles left Germany humiliated and broken. Yet what many do not know is that American banks, industrial giants, and European financiers were quietly rebuilding the very infrastructure that would fuel the Nazi war machine. Companies like Ford, Standard Oil, and IG Farben were not just selling products. They were selling the means for conquest. IG Farben, for instance, produced synthetic fuel and chemicals that allowed Germany to run an army and air force far beyond its domestic capabilities. Ford factories in Germany churned out vehicles for the Wehrmacht. Meanwhile, Standard Oil executives provided the technology to refine synthetic fuels that kept Hitler's tanks rolling. It wasn't ideology that drove these transactions. It was profit. And in the shadows, the Bank for International Settlements quietly funneled money between nations, ensuring that the financial lines remained open, even as the world teetered toward chaos. It might shock you to learn how deeply the United States was entangled. Some historians estimate that U.S. industrialists knowingly helped rebuild Germany's economy in the 1930s. Prescott Bush, grandfather of George W. Bush, had connections to companies that funded German industrial efforts, some of which directly supported the Nazi regime. It wasn't just finance. It was technology, machinery, and oil. In some ways, the very strength of Hitler's early campaigns was built with American resources. The reasoning? Many in the West saw Germany as a buffer against the Soviet Union, believing that a strong Germany could check the spread of communism. It's a dangerous calculus, backing a future enemy in hopes of controlling a larger threat. The result was the perfect storm, a war built as much in boardrooms as on battlefields. Let's talk about IG Farben, perhaps the most sinister of them all. Farben wasn't merely a chemical company. It was an empire with a monopoly on dyes, pharmaceuticals, and eventually synthetic fuels. They supplied Zyklon B, the gas used in concentration camps, and their executives were deeply involved in the logistics of forced labor. Meanwhile, IBM provided the punch card technology that allowed the Nazis to catalog, track, and persecute entire populations efficiently. It is chilling to think that the quiet click of machines in New York or Germany could determine who lived and who died. Ford and other industrial giants were not innocent either. They maintained operations in Germany even as the Nazis tightened their grip, producing vehicles and machinery for the military. All these companies operated in the shadows, and for the public, it seemed as though war was simply an inevitable clash of nations. Behind the closed doors of diplomacy, there were secret deals. British officials and American bankers debated how far they could let Hitler go before it threatened their interests. Documents reveal meetings where financial assistance and resource trade were tacitly allowed, all under the guise of maintaining global stability. This was not naive diplomacy. It was calculated. Germany's rearmament was monitored, funded, and in some cases, accelerated by those who believed they could profit from chaos without ever firing a bullet themselves. It's easy to vilify Hitler and ignore the global web that supported him, but the truth is darker. The war was incubated by a network of ambition, greed, and moral compromise, stretching from Berlin to Wall Street. So if Germany was ready and the world had supplied the tools, what truly sparked World War II? It wasn't just the invasion of Poland. The spark was a perfect alignment of hatred, ambition, and opportunity, amplified by economic desperation and hidden agendas. Hitler's political maneuvering, the appeasement of the Western powers, and the clandestine support from multinational corporations set the stage. When he finally struck Poland, the war had already been decades in the making. The bombs and bullets were only the surface manifestation of a conflict whose roots lay in financial schemes, political gambits, and human ambition. History books often tell us the story we want to hear: a clear villain, a decisive beginning. But the deeper truth is more unsettling. Wars are rarely spontaneous. They are cultivated, they are financed, they are incubated by choices made in silence, in greed, in ambition. As we look back at the shadows that led to World War II, we are reminded that human history is rarely black and white. Sometimes the darkest chapters are written not by the loudest voices, but by those who whisper in boardrooms, in bank offices, in laboratories. And perhaps, if we do not remember these hidden truths, we risk repeating them.